Hey guys, welcome back to Confess It Baby. Today we have a guest with us. She is a female artist.
That's right. She's been seen on La Reina de la Canción. She is basically known as Miss 305, and she is la perra más fina, not just from Miami, but from el mundo entero. Welcome to the show, Vikina.
Wow, ladies.
What an intro, girl. Welcome to Confess It.
Yeah. We're so happy to have you here.
Happy to be here.
Like I was telling Liliana, I just met you the other day, but I didn't know we were sisters. It's such a small world.
Funny
so
how that
for
works,
those of you
right?
that don't know, what we mean by sisters is, we've talked about this previously. We were in the same sorority when we were at FIU, DFI, and Vikina was actually in that sorority with us too. And I have always been a fan. I came in a year after you did. So, you know, the older sisters were always like, oh my God, like the role models. And, you know, you've just been such an empowering role to so many girls now, but especially back then too. Just watching you start that journey and having you here today to like help us feel even more empowered than what we already do by your presence is amazing. Yeah. So thank you.
Especially
for
this
us.
month. This episode is like perfect.
It's March. It's the month we celebrate
Women's
us.
Day. It's absolutely a pleasure to be here with you guys. I really admire that you guys are taking the guts to like put this whole podcast together. Women need guts in life, and I think that's an admirable thing to put out there. And I think it's really cool right now. What I'm experiencing is like a lot of cyclicalness. A lot of people from my past are kind of appearing in my present, and we're working together and we're creating things. And I think that's just a testament to like being a good person too, and not like, and the way that you treat people. And I think that's like a really big part about being successful in this industry, and like not burning bridges, and really just treating people with grace and support and love. And I'm happy to support and love you girls today.
100%, because you never know who you're going to need in the future. So it's always good to make good impressions and make those connections. 100%.
It's crazy because we always hear the term networking. It's so important to go out and network.
It's so real. And we realize that now, like back then, like you wouldn't think about that.
And it's more than just networking, because sometimes when you do go to these events to meet other women or other men, these people can potentially become your friends and people that help you down the road, like you're saying. People from your past are coming in, and that's when you really see true colors and how humble people can be at times. It's not just all evil and backstabbing.
Yeah. I went to a networking event and I met this girl who makes amazing cakes, and I didn't think I would ever use that resource or that contact, and all of my friends are pregnant and having weddings and things,
like,
and I need a cake lady.
So you're hitting her up.
You really never know what value people bring into your life. So I always think that luck, I relate it to statistics. So like I don't really believe in luck, but I believe in math. And if you just keep putting yourself out there and the opportunity for luck to strike, eventually you're gonna get lucky.
Yeah, you're gonna get lucky. That is so true. I didn't think about it like that way.
And now that we're talking about that and kind of just keeping that connection with people and having it strike back, we did say that we went to FIU together, and you started this beautiful journey that you've been on for quite some time now. Back then, you know. So why don't you take us to the beginning?
From the beginning, how it started,
how you got here right now from that moment.
It's so funny that I'm in a room with DFIs, and because I don't really talk about this often, but being in college and being in DFI and having that experience, and our mottos, I feel so cheesy talking about it, but our motto really was like esse quam videre, which was to be rather than to seem to be. And that motto really ate at me for a long time in college, because I was doing like a double life. I called it like my Hannah Montana life.
I love that.
Because I was going to college and being in a sorority and doing all of like the normal things that any typical young adult female wants to do. But I also had like this other side of me, and I was going to like weird studio sessions in downtown by myself and songwriting with random producers that would reach out to me. And I was trying to like build myself in an entertainment industry that wasn't conducive to young females being strong and breaking through boundaries,
especially in Miami too.
Yeah, I was tricky. It was my mom was like petrified of all like these weird meetings and things that I would want to go to by myself, and I'm like, no, mom, I want to go by myself.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be like a nerd going with my mom. You know,
yeah, you wanted to show face that you know you don't need your parents, like you're strong enough.
I wanted to be an adult.
It's what you're
creating
what
your
you
own
image
at that point, and it's like, I don't need you anymore, thank you, but I'm going alone. And as a mom, I mean, I'm not a mom. I'm not a mom, so I don't know what that feels like.
We don't know what that's going to be like.
Yeah, we
It's
don't.
kind of, I get
It's
where
like
they're coming
safety,
from, because
yeah,
they want
it's
us to be
safety.
safe. And, as a woman, and like you're saying, going to these places alone at such a young
it's
age.
scary.
It can
And
be
especially
scary
people,
for them,
they're contacting you through social media or something. Like, it can be scary.
And I want to take advantage of those opportunities.
You have to, because you never
know.
know.
And then time management was always really tough too. Like I lost touch with a lot of DeFi's back in college just because I really dove in headfirst into, I got my first record deal halfway through college. So that also was like a pretty pivotal thing. I was like, music industry is like easy, guys. Like,
Look at me.
This is like super easy. Who said it was hard? And I dropped out of school.
That's fine.
I told my mom, I was like, I can't go take my math test because I have like Telemundo interviews, Mom. Like this, I have a team of producers that were working on a project for me and with me. So it wasn't really a time for me to be successful in school. So I took like a semester off that ended up turning into like 2 years. That label ended up dissolving, and that's like a whole other story. But that was probably like my first heartbreak, and I was like, all right, what now? Like, what do I do next? And I mean, I'll skip ahead, but until I was probably 27 that I was really starting to lose hope. Like, I think I was reaching that point in our lives where we're like, wow, I need to get a grip. I need to kind of have something stronger to stand on.
It happens, especially at that point in time. It happens. We've all been through it.
I'm sure a lot of girls are going through that right now. And I took a kind of a turn, and I built a little bit of I used what I had learned so much about digital presence for myself, like building a digital presence for myself as an artist in digital marketing. And I applied that to like e-commerce businesses, and I got jobs in like e-commerce companies.
Interesting.
And I was building a career in that. I was literally kind of like, I'll just perform for fun at this point. Like, I was really kind of approaching that transition when the audition for Reina de la Canción appeared in my inbox.
Wow.
So that was pretty like a pivotal point for me, but it really all started definitely in college.
I think, we don't talk about this a lot, but patience in this industry and in many other
and things happen for a reason
is so important.
And, you got to think about the fact, too, that you're talented and you always knew you wanted to be an artist. So just having that talent made you special, and just knowing that one day, maybe your dreams will come true. Maybe, and it did. It's something, you had another opportunity that came.
My dreams are coming true in the way that I never imagined.
Exactly. That's the way things work.
I always thought that I would really need to make myself established in my music career before I could even think about an acting career. And during the pandemic, I was in a movie that was on HBO Max. I didn't do it in the order that I thought I was going to do it.
And the industry is always changing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really
people
fast.
are becoming famous just singing a song on TikTok. Like,
you can blow up at
it's
any
really
given
annoying,
second.
actually. Like the things that people go viral for, and then we spend time making, editing, creating, and putting filters and things, and then it gets 2 likes. It's really disheartening.
It's crazy.
And that's why it's very important to keep your head in the game, like High School Musical, because it's so.
quoted High
School Musical.
Cue Troy Bolton.
I love Troy Bolton. No, just keeping your head in the game, because there's so many distractions, and it's so easy to compare ourselves.
And
sometimes.
discouragement too, because you find yourself comparing yourself to others, and comparison is a thief of joy.
Totally.
So you just got to focus on yourself.
Now that you say comparison, for me, age has been a huge factor. I'm always like, oh my gosh, but
there's
that's
no
because you're Latina, because they put that in your
Yeah,
head.
they put it
They
in
do
your
that
head.
to us.
There's no timeline in life.
Exactly. And
There's
age
no
is really
timeline.
nothing but a number.
Absolutely.
Because you see all these people that go viral at 45, 50, even this older guy that started doing videos with Disney in his background, and now he has millions of followers. So it has nothing to do with age, just being patient.
It's
and
statistics, guys.
persistent.
It's math.
It's math.
It's math. It's math and ganas, because we were talking about it before. Like, if I stopped singing tomorrow, the truth is that no one would care. Like, I'm sure some people would care, but like the people closest to me, the people that love me, they're still gonna love me. They're still gonna support me. They're still gonna be my friends. And if you guys stopped making this podcast, life would go on. Yeah, but it's all on us as creators. It's really us to be that driving force to want to continue to create.
If we enjoy doing something, we're gonna continue doing it.
No one's gonna hold your hand.
And tell me a little bit about that transition from singing, which you still sing, but to becoming an actress.
It's
How
been
did that
fun.
happen happen?
And how did you balance it all?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure it out. It's rough. Like I'm going to South by Southwest next week to Austin for the conferences that they have out there. There's like music conferences. There's also TV and film conferences. I finagled my way into like a showcase. So I'm gonna get to perform in Austin, and all on my own hustle. You know, nobody decided, hey, let's bring Vikina to South by Southwest. I decided I want to be at South by Southwest. I'm going to book my flight to South by Southwest. I'm going to start telling people I'm going to South by Southwest. And all of a sudden, oh, hey, we're looking for performers. And it, you know what I mean? It manifested that way.
It's the power of manifestation.
The power of your mind.
I'm a powerful manifester, ladies, not to be messed with. I can manifest anything I want. And I believe that wholeheartedly, as long as it's not like.
I love that.
So
I feel like I'm changing,
but
I feel like I'm changing your mindset so much.
I'm so glad you're bringing this up because when we first started,
she's such a negative person.
Very like, no, like, you know, like it's the reality of it, you know, and ever since she's been talking to me about manifestation and the lucky girl syndrome, I'm like, you know what? I'm so lucky. Like, I'm going to get this done today. I'm going to get this role. I'm going to get, and things really do come true. So the fact that you're saying that is making
the
me
mind is a powerful tool.
Yeah, put yourself in the room. You have to try. You don't lose anything. I lose more time thinking about that audition that I didn't do it because I should have done it.
And things happen for a reason.
Draining.
If it's not for you, there's something better in the way.
Yeah.
That's
and I think that when also comes into play when we're as driven as we are and we have a lot of different ambitions and then they start colliding, which is like what you were talking about, like singing and acting and how I got an audition for Monday and I'm going to be in South by Southwest because I'm taking, you know, this initiative for my music career, not necessarily for my acting. And I'm trying to schedule acting classes and make time for acting classes, but then other priorities pop up. Like actually, there was an acting class I was going to go to today, but I chose to do the podcast.
Yeah. Oh. Thank you for being here. I know, now I feel bad.
No, but it's normal. It's the checks and balances of when you lead an ambitious life. We can't do everything.
You can't.
So settling with the fact that you can't do everything is probably like a big step for sure. And then just prioritizing, like really trying to put like a 1-year goal or like a 2-year goal or a 5-year goal. And making those steps that are conducive to that first, you know?
I told you, I remember that I like to do vision boards like for 3 months.
The dream
So
boards?
I like to set my goals every 3 months and then just do it over and over again because it keeps you like your head in the game, but like in a shorter term. Yeah. And then just be evolving from there.
And your dreams and your goals are always changing constantly. For me, every month, if I were to evaluate, it changes so fast because you really get things done and then you move on to the next big thing and you move on and it's so important to like keep that in check, how you say with the dream board.
Keep yourself in check. That's also why therapy is really good because you have somebody that's like, oh, remember we were working on this last month and where are we
you have to be organized, especially when you have so much going on,
and doing that to yourself is tough. For yourself.
What would you say is what motivates you? What's your source of motivation?
Not wanting to fail.
Not wanting to
the fear of failure, the fear of walking away and saying like, oh, I didn't make it, you know? I refuse to take an L. I think before I became Vikina, I'm Victoria Cristina, so I was going by Victoria. And like, we try to find a brand, we try to find a gimmick, we try to find like a catchphrase. And like my thing at that time when I was starting, and I was a DeFi, was born to win, that I was named Victoria because I was born to win. So I'm not in a position to fail. So it's just, I think, acknowledging too that it's less of a race and more of a marathon. Because I think I was always like really caught up with like seeing other people succeed, like you said, comparison and not being there yet.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, I'm better than them. You start thinking about that because it's the honest truth. You're like, why that person? Like, I'm way better.
Why them?
And that really messes you up. Like,
it wasn't my time. I don't think it was my time. I think now we're approaching my time. It's now we're approaching the time where the kind of music that I want to make is like palatable, like people like understand it now. I always wanted to make, I think I never understood why, because I wanted to make music in Spanish, I had to make Latin music. Like, why does it have to be Latin tuguta music just because I want to make music in Spanish? want to make pop music. I want to make like EDM, dance music that I like and listen to here in Miami. I mean, I love reggaeton, but you didn't pick me out of Puerto Rico. You didn't pick me out of Colombia. You picked me out of Miami. And I've been trying for a long time to find and nurture a sound that I think Miami can own. And that's Latin EDM.
And that would make you unique. That would make you stand out.
My own thing. You think that Rosalia was thinking about, what playlist are they going to put me in when she made her music? No, nobody. She made her own thing. And I think that's a challenge that artists always deal with, because in the industry, they want to put you in a box. They want to put you in a playlist. And I'm very non-inclined to be put in a box.
How are you going about this change though? Because like you said, you were part of this show on TV called La Reina de la Voz, and it was basically Latin music. So obviously that started you off in that world. But how have you made that change into this EDM lifestyle and that type of music?
They helped me. They helped me actually, because when I heard about the audition, it was with Daddy Yankee as the executive producer, and I was like, perfect, they're looking for urbanas. So that's how I pitched myself. I knew that everybody would be singing 1.5 million like ballads and Karol G songs and Jenny Rivera songs, but I wanted to be different. So I thought I would pitch myself as this like urban chick, because I love to rap along with singing and stuff. I obviously love urban music. And throughout the contest, they kept giving me like pop, big diva songs. Like they gave me Jennifer Lopez, they gave me Lady Gaga, they gave me Shakira. They gave me like big pop records that I was able to handle, that I was able to manage. And I was like annoyed that they weren't giving me a ballad, or that they weren't giving me like more. But I think what they helped me realize is that that was my gift. That was what I could do that the other girls could not do. And it was holding a stage with like a big pop EDM. That's what I think one of my stronger gifts is performing. Do I like to songwrite? Sure. It takes me a long time. It's sometimes really hard to be naked, and write. I don't enjoy it as much as I thrive off performing.
How did it feel being on that stage, being in
front of so many people?
Well, that's like national, Univision is national.
Yeah. International. I still get messages from people like in Uruguay that they're like, hey, I just saw the contest. You didn't win, but I love you. Or like, still people that reach out and saw it internationally, which was really cool. I think it was very nerve-wracking, of course, because it was live. And if you mess up, like they're gonna use that,
100%.
So it was definitely nerve-wracking, but it was really cool. I felt like I was in my own Premios Lo Nuestros, like with 8 dancers, CO2 explosions, like and lights and costumes. I was living my dream. I was like, if win or lose, I won this experience.
It did open up doors for you. So tell me, what happened from there?
You want to know how I got the contract with Pitbull?
It's going that way.
That's what everybody wants to know.
Worldwide over here.
I mean, come on now.
Well, they started calling me Miss 305 on the show. They asked me, they're like, hey, is it okay if we call you like Miss 305? And I was like, are you asking me for real?
Of course.
Is it a joke? Question? Is it a joke? And I was like, of course. I've always wanted to represent Miami. I've always wanted to represent 305. I think part of my like cultural and music identity crisis comes from the fact that I'm Cuban, but I'm also Ecuadorian. So right off the bat, I carry a lot of flags. So finding myself and finding my sound and what I rep and they always ask me like, oh, which side do you rep more? I'm like, neither. Miami. I'm super Miami.
You were born and raised here,
born
though,
and
right?
raised. I'm so Miami. It literally hurts.
Yeah.
Literally physically.
I mean, it's who you are.
Yeah, it's who you are.
It's who I am. I'm like a samurai on my birthday kind of girl. Like, so Miami.
I love that.
That is funny.
So I always wanted to be a part of 305. I always wanted to rep 305. I always respected and admired Pitbull. And I had a crush on, so I've had a lot of friends that are in his crew, right? And one of the guys posted, I had a crush on one of them, and he posted a group pic with this beautiful girl in it. And me being the psycho that I am was like, who's this girl? So I followed her. And immediately, like less than 24 hours, she followed me back and she's like, hey, I work for an entertainment agency and we're looking for singers that would be like down to sing at weddings. Wow. And this girl
from one thing to the other.
From one thing to the other. Like
it's
went
like
from
that.
360. She gave me my first job as a performer. So like she really gave me my first shot and to be a working singer, like a literally like to make a living off of singing. It wasn't until later on that I realized that she was in the picture because she was like in this family. Like she's related to.
Wow.
Did you ever tell her the story?
Yeah, she knows.
If not, she'll know now.
So I always knew that she had the relation to him, but it wasn't until after the show that she mentioned a conversation that had been had about me. And then I was like, get me the meeting. I was like, I'm not like this. And I've been friends with her for so long. And I'm so grateful for the woman that she is, the opportunities that she's given me and how much I've learned from her as a friend and as a woman, as a mother. She's like amazing, incredible, Lorena. I can never give you enough praise. I'm going to her bachelorette at the end of the month. We're gonna have so much fun.
Bachelorettes, weddings, babies,
all of it. Too many bachelorettes and babies happening in my life right now. But that's besides the point.
We're at that point in life already. Tears.
This has to be part of every conversation we have because it's happening so much more often.
It happens out of nowhere. Like none of my friends were married or and then. This year, it's just been like, poof.
Bam, 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 bam.
But that's 30 for you. And I think that was another big deal is that like, I really wanted to have a record deal or something that I could really stand on before I hit 30. I think that was like a weird milestone that I had in my own brain. So I reached out to her and I was like, look, I came off of this show, like, see if you can get me the meeting. And they basically were like, cool, you can use the studio whenever you want. They didn't like offer me a deal off the bat. They just were like, you can use the studio.
But you never know who's listening. You never know who's walking those halls. Or watches. Like,
well, nobody was walking the halls because it was the middle of the pandemic. So I was by myself. It was empty. And I was like, okay, nobody knows how to record me. Nobody's here. I have to learn.
Were alone.
So I was alone by myself.
Wow.
I was alone by myself at the studio, just showing up. I asked them for the key because nobody was there to open up for me. And I was just showing up every day. Nobody had to call me to come to the studio. I just showed up. Nobody had to say, hey, Vikina, you should maybe learn how to record yourself. No, I just learned how to record myself.
Wow. A powerhouse.
So you manifested it.
Yeah.
Because you literally like worked it.
You
like if
it
was
happen.
an actual, like you had that gig already.
I feel like being in that position, it would be very easy for someone that's not as committed and passionate about it to just say, I'll try again when like things go back to normal.
When I'm
but
free.
You got an opportunity and you really took advantage of it and look at where it's gotten you.
You can't sleep, y'all. You really can't because someone else is not sleeping.
No, it's so true.
Someone else is gonna jump right in and take the opportunity that's in front of you that you're not taking because you're A, too scared to ask, B, too lazy to really take advantage of it, and C, you don't want it that bad. That's the truth. Because if you really wanted it that bad, you would be eating, sleeping, dreaming about it.
Literally, you can't
every
sleep.
single
The anxiety
day.
will eat you alive.
It will.
The excitement will eat you alive.
The anxiety.
Were you guys excited to shoot this today?
Yeah.
You were like sleeping last night.
Honestly,
excited.
Now that you bring that up, we had been talking about who do we want to bring on because this is top 5 episodes basically that we've recorded.
It's an honor.
It's so important to set the mood for not just the people listening, but for us.
Inspiring people too. People inspire us. If the person that we're interviewing inspires us, it's gonna inspire other people. So that's definitely like what we're.
And then the next episode, we're like, you know what? Like, let's talk about this and talk about that. And then the comments that we get and the reactions to not just the topics that we're talking about, but the people we're bringing on is very, I think it's not life-changing, but it really helps people change their perspective and
people learn. They take away something
exactly.
new.
I hope so. I hope that my roller coaster of a struggle educates and helps and inspire other people. And I know that like the next half of my life will probably be really focused on exactly that, which is just like motivating, inspiring, guiding, nurturing, mentoring young artists the way that the way that some people did for me and the way that some people failed to do.
I want to take it back because the Miami thing resonated with me because I do love Miami. I'm a hardcore Miami fan.
I feel like we represent Miami.
I mean, we have the Miami accent, so it's only fair to like love Miami. Thank you, Miami, for my acento. I love it.
I went to Texas and people were like, where are you from?
Really?
What do you think? I'm literally from Miami.
Super
Miami accent.
So I wanted to ask you, 305 Day was this month.
Yeah.
And you got to host it and you did an amazing job. You looked phenomenal on stage
Thank
with those
you.
jeans. I saw you. How did you feel, you know, especially on that day with everyone in front of Miami? Like a lot of your fans were there. They went specifically to watch you on stage. How did you feel that day? Because it's, for me alone, I wasn't even partaking in any of the of anything going on. I just went to like enjoy my day. And I felt so honored to be there at 305. In the 305. So how did you feel?
I think it's so special to represent Miami. I think if we really think about it, like we're such a young city compared to so many other cities in the nation. Like we really were born in the 80s. Most of the city was born in the 80s. So we are responsible, and I feel huge responsibility to be a creator of the culture, to be our own culture creators. Like it's really on us to determine like what people are going to be celebrating. What is Miami 20 years from now? Is it Miami-based music? Is it croquetas? Is it palm trees? Is it, you know, what is it, our culture that is important to us, and what is it that we want to like leave as a legacy? And I think hosting was super fun because I'm always performing. So hosting and just hyping people was definitely fun. It was nerve-wracking sometimes because I had nothing prepared. I was really winging it. But it was definitely an honor, and I'm really excited to just continue representing Miami. And now this year, my new goal is that I have to graduate from being Miss 305 and take this energy worldwide.
Hey, that's what we like
love
to hear.
that. Yes.
How do you plan to do that, Drew?
Tell us.
What do you got in the store? Give us a little bit of a glimpse.
Take us with you.
Tell us what you got planning.
Well, I'm traveling a lot this year. I've got my new EP coming up. So I'm really diving finally into like the Latin EDM. I've been spoon feeding like it's still been very pop leaning. But this upcoming EP is called Now That's What I Call Dance Perra. And it's
love that, Dance Perra.
And it's all like really tech house, really DJ driven songs. And I've already begun like a really cool, you could also call it a very stalkery project, but I've made a list of all of the festivals that I want to perform at or that I would want to be at. And I've made a list of all the DJs playing there, and I've just been sending them my music and sending them like acapellas.
Yeah, because you never know. A lot of DJs nowadays, obviously, they're music producers. They produce the music.
They do.
All they need is the vocals.
They just want vocals.
They want vocals.
All they want is the acapella. They want like the voice.
It goes back to TikTok and the social media. Tiesto has come out with a bunch of songs, and where has he found the people singing? On social media.
And you never know.
David Guetta.
Yeah, you never know by shooting that shot if they're working on something that your voice will fit that project. And right off the bat, they're like, oh my God.
Yeah, the voice is perfect for
the way
this
in which
song.
the universe
I have
works
no
is
shame.
crazy.
I have no shame in using my blue check mark.
Oh no, me too.
There's no shame in my game.
No,
I
you
say,
have
hey,
to.
Oh, yeah.
I'm an artist. I think your music's awesome. Here, let me know if you can work with any of this, or let me know if you could play any of this.
It's more impactful than an email.
They'll reply.
It's just straight
I mean, sometimes they
DMs.
don't even look at those emails.
don't
It's
look
their
at those
assistants
emails,
that have
yeah.
nothing to do with
It's
their
straight
actual
DMs, and just, you know, putting yourself out there means a lot to them too. Like, oh, this person has guts to slide in my DMs, right?
So I'm just like buying the tickets to some of these festivals too, and I started that's what happened to me at EDC Mexico. I just bought the ticket to the festival. I bought the flight. I started sending my music out to DJs, and one of them was like, these vocals are awesome. His name is Dimitri Saidi, and he made a remix with my vocals in like a week, and he's like, I'm gonna play it at EDC.
Oh my
my
God.
God.
You know, and things are just manifesting that way because I'm putting my eye on a prize,
Tunnel vision.
and I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm putting that big fat hairy goal in front of me, and I'm figuring out, okay, how do I get there?
Yeah.
You know,
You gotta have the goal and then lay out the tracks.
and then lay out the track. Some people do it different. Some people do it step by step, and that's your own manifestation process. How what works for you. But for me, this has been working, and this year I'm traveling a lot. I'm definitely going to Austin next week for South by Southwest and performing there. I've got a lot of bachelorette trips.
So there's work and there's play.
And you never know who you meet while you're out there in those trips because
I one of my
you're
girls
gonna be networking in Vegas.
one of my girls is doing her thing in Tulum.
Oh,
So I'm gonna try to figure out how
there's
I can
DJs
perform.
there all the time.
Exactly.
Do you imagine performing in Tulum in a bikini? Hey.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
La perra más fina de Tulum.
Takes Tulum. La perra más fina takes Tulum.
In bikini.
Where does that term come from, by the way? La perra más fina, la perra. Where does it come from? Why?
Where do you get that name stamped?
It's controversial because some people really don't like the perra thing. But for me, it's like our Latina version of a bad bitch.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. I don't look at it in a degrading way. I take a degrading term and use it to empower me.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, like, I'm a manicured poodle, you know, like I'm very, I don't have my nails today because I'm going to get my nails done after this.
Okay.
but I'm typically always arreglada.
Yeah.
I really care about the way I come off and coming off fina.
And the way you carry yourself.
I don't be posting like culo pictures every day on my Instagram because if not, I would have 1 million followers by now.
No.
I would, but not my brand.
The followers you're going to receive is not the followers you want because it's not the ones that like you for your talent.
It's not your target audience.
It's not your target audience. It's not the people who's going to be engaging unless you show us. So let me take it back to some of your songs. So you write your songs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the most part.
Which one has been your favorite or the ones that has had like the biggest impact?
I think, man, they're all special to me. Wow, which is one of my most recent ones, is really special because I kind of wrote it with my best friends. It was at my best friend's birthday party, and we were listening to tribal house music for what was like 9 hours. And at this point, it's like it's like no vocals. So we just started inventing our own vocals.
Start throwing out
exactly. So it was
rhymes.
one of those things that we made up on our own, and then watching them get to be in the music video with me too was really special. One of them found out that she was pregnant shortly after, and it was just, that was really a special experience overall. But I think my most powerful and most personal song, and the one that I really been able to let people in the most win, was my song Animales, which I released that about a year ago. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was documenting a really toxic relationship that I had. And it was an experience that I still have trouble talking about today because I'm really cautious about what I want to let in that part of my life. But it was probably one of the most traumatic experiences I've ever experienced, to be in a domestic dispute. And it started with non-physical abuse. It started with verbal abuse for a really long time. And then you kind of get stuck into that loop. And at one point, you're not even humans. You're like animals. You're just trying to get at each other and have the last word. And that video and that song was really just about that. I didn't want to write it. I went into the studio that day to work with Chris Chill, which she's one of the writers of Taki Taki and like a lot of Caliucci's music. And I was like, I want to write a song called Inversionista. Because I'm always trying to empower myself and shove that under the ground. But it was really healing for me to kind of put that experience into a song. And then when I started opening up about my experience, some of the baddest, hardest, most successful women I know have been through domestic violence instances or experiences. So it was definitely healing to kind of like connect with women in that way, because for a long time I was like, that doesn't happen to girls like me. Yeah. That happens to like pussies. Yeah. Honestly, I never thought that something like that could happen to me. And then you're caught in that cycle, and it's really healing to be able to talk about it. So for Women's Month, I'm always encouraging that women really seek help, that there are resources. The Lotus House Shelter is a resource for a lot of women that are looking. I mean, luckily I had my parents. I went straight back to Kendall. Mom, I'm coming home. I'm coming to Kendall.
Prepare my bedroom.
But some people don't have those opportunities to be able to leave those relationships. So there are resources. There are people that you can ask for help. And it's hard to peel that Band-Aid sometimes, but I'm so relieved, so much lighter, and in such a better place now.
It's a topic. It's a topic that's very hard to talk about, and many times it can start at an early age, in college even, and your song has probably helped a lot of people, a lot of girls or guys too.
And even for yourself, like you said, it was healing.
For myself.
It's healing to hear those lyrics. Like songs have such a powerful impact
strong,
that like I'm a big fan of Taylor Swift
because of her lyrics. Yeah,
I love her lyrics. I love the story. It speaks to me, and you know, maybe it doesn't resonate because I've been through that experience, but it helps me understand what that person has been through. And your song is empowering in so many ways. So, and it's also like a good beat. Like I love dancing to it.
We did a dance remix to it, and it's almost actually doing better than the original. So I'm excited about the dance transition. I think I'm trying to challenge myself now to do what goes against my nature. Is when you write a dance song, you want to write like about like party and something uplifting and stuff.
Usually it's party and drugs.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to do, and what I did with my song Me Dejaste Sola, is like do like sad songs but on a dance beat. Yeah.
Like let's be sad and dance about it.
Exactly.
I love that.
Everybody handles depression differently, right? True. Some people lock themselves in a room.
Yeah. Listen to depressing music, and it's like adding fire to the flame.
Is that what you do? No, okay.
I do the opposite.
Me too.
I do the opposite.
I go out and I get blackout. That's what happens.
Exactly, 100%. I do the opposite. No.
I just do my makeup and record myself.
Or listen to some bachata. I don't know why I love bachata. I think it's so therapeutic. I love bachata.
Yeah. I think it's really cool to be out on a dance floor and then that song just connects with you. Yeah. You know, that lyric can connect with you. So that's a challenge that I'm doing. I'm trying to do like more, because it's hard to be naked. It's really hard. That was really difficult for me to like really just reveal that side of me, and it still is to talk about it and just like peel the layers of the onion.
But sometimes it's good to get out of your comfort zone.
When you heard that song for the first time in a public setting, how did you feel like watching other people's reactions to it, or even just putting it online and having people, I'm sure, like reach out and, you know, message you about the song? What was that like for you?
The support was overwhelming. It was really incredible and felt really it's just really healing. That's what music is. It's like to put a feeling that nobody's put into words before and really materialize it with your words, and have other people listen to it and be like, wow, that reminds me of what I went through with my ex, and have people reach out to me. Like that's all the success that I could need in the world, you know?
That human connection is strong.
Human connection. It was really, really powerful. It was really interesting. And I hope to do it again sometime, but I don't know what I need healing from yet.
Well, that's the beauty of life.
That's good to hear, though. That's good for now.
The beauty of life is that it's an ongoing journey, and we make mistakes, we learn from them, we fall down sometimes, we get back up, and those are the moments that will probably inspire you to keep writing.
For sure, because nobody's innocent at the end of the day. Like there's three sides to every story, right? Yeah. And in the video, which was art directed by Jenna Sakuha and directed by Kevin Quiles, in the music video, there's I tried to show the fighting, but with dancers, so that it wouldn't be like in a tacky, like we're fighting, like more acting. Artistic. Yeah. It was more so they were dancing. And then I had two outfits. I had a white outfit where I was kind of like innocent and then I had a red outfit, which was more of like me accepting that I was my own animal in this too, and accepting that like what you contributed to it is the really hard part too, you know, healing from what happened, but then also accepting like what you said, like that we make mistakes. We don't handle everything the best way that we can sometimes.
We just learn from it.
We learn from it, or at least try to, you know, and then if you can teach that and pay that forward to somebody else so that they don't have to.
Yeah. It empowers others.
Using our voice is so important, and we shouldn't be scared to do it. It's a scary thing to do at times because, you know, you have to be extremely vulnerable and give it off, but it's truly what I feel like an inspirational talker today. I feel like
today it's
Women's Month. I'm like, you know, it's Women's Month. I'm in my feels. It's just so important to really impact and change other people's life when you have the power to do so. And our last episode really like made me realize that, you know, you go through these moments and you really, when the moment you start speaking out about it, you realize how much other people need to hear that.
So what are we manifesting now? ladies? What are, like, kind of, I'm gonna turn the mic on you. What are we manifesting?
I already manifested something, but I can't talk about it yet.
I mean, I think
I'll tell you off the camera.
Off camera, it better be good.
Oh, it's real good.
I gave him the spill of deeds.
For me, manifestation, it's been something I've been learning, but also just being positive as a whole. I'm manifesting that for myself. I've been very negative these past few years. As I always talk about this, but I was a chunky girl. I've lost over 100 pounds. And when you are that chunky for that long and you have this personality and you're confident as you are, and then you lose that weight and you have so many people like, oh my God, how do you feel now? Like, are you happier? And it's kind of like, in a way, no, I'm not happier. Like,
you still have like,
because you know the ugly truth of people's intentions.
And
you've seen the other side.
I think that right now my focus is on manifesting that positivity and that genuine happiness for not just the hard work that I've put in, but where I am in life. Is it where I want to be? No, it's not.
It never is.
Will I get there?
It never is. You're never going to be happy. Like, it sucks to hear. Like, you're going to be grateful for all the blessings, but you always want more.
What is happy? My mom always tells me, and maybe it's like a sucky quote, but hay momentos de felicidad. There's moments of happiness, and those are the ones that you really have to cherish, because there's going to be happy moments and there's going to be sucky moments, but it's not like a permanent, like, I'm happy the moment I wake up and I'm happy the moment I go to sleep. No, like, we're human. We have feelings. We have our ups and downs. We have people that mess with us. We have people that support us. It's a bunch of chaos.
Social media.
Back to your question, I am manifesting positivity for myself this year.
And from there, everything else will come.
And then from there, las puertas se van a abrir, the doors will open, 100%. And the haters can walk out the door while I walk in that door. So
they're not even relevant.
Honestly, I want to ask something.
Okay, go.
That I've been reading. Oh no, but it has nothing to do with her.
Okay.
Well, it has to do with like social media and the comments.
Okay.
There's a lot going on with Selena Gomez and Hailey and the Jenners and the Kardashians. And there's so much hateful comments going on. And at the end of the day, people forget that all of them are human.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that when you're at that level of fame and you're having basically the whole world comment on something that's personal to your life? How would you go about that? How do you feel about that situation?
I just don't understand it, because I feel like Selena was already making fun of herself.
Yeah.
She was making fun of herself.
She's being the bigger person here too, because everybody else is being a bully.
She was making fun of herself, and if Kylie was being a bully or whatever, then, you know, they have fans and people that really care about them. These fans, they build a relationship with, they're hardcore. They build a relationship with this person, and you know, they feel the need to defend her and let them.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I can't talk about too much hateful, because I made a joke about Lele Pons and I'm viral right now, so I can't even. I feel like such a hypocrite.
All right, so back to Victoria, Vikina.
Oh, she called me by my government name.
Government name.
Oh my God. That's what it says on your ID.
Victoria Cristina.
Not Vikina.
No, of course not.
Oh. Yeah, I figured that was like her, like the stage.
It's
name.
my stage
so I was
name.
Like wondering.
When I made the change, actually, when I started doing auditions as Victoria Lopez, I wasn't getting a lot of callbacks, but when I started doing auditions as Vikina Lopez,
because they found you on social media, probably.
Well, either they found me on social media, or it was just like a unique name that just stuck in their head.
Oh, that's smart. That is
so I created my own brand, because like when I was coming up in music, and I was like, how do I compete with Victoria's Secret?
Yeah.
And the Grammy goes to Vicky Lopez, the girl that sat behind you in math class, does like not sound cute. You know?
It sounds like a normal name, like a normal any other
Vicky
person.
Lopez, like Caro.
Let's just name them all.
Name them all.
So I made the transition to Vikina, and that was like probably around like 2015. And it's just, Vikina is just like a super exaggerated version of me, pretty much.
Love that.
She's like my extra me. Yeah. She's like super sinvergüenza.
Like an alter ego type of thing. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's some way it helps me protect Victoria.
I like that. Victoria's
Does it helps you keep that like sanity at one point?
I think so, because I look into like Vikina being that, and Vikina being what she needs to be for the music. But as I grow in life, I think me and Vikina are coming more and more one.
Becoming one.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of bittersweet in a way, because you have like your alter ego, the person you know you're becoming, and person you are like coming all together.
It really is like Hannah Montana and Miley
it's like
Cyrus.
Hannah Montana.
I lost a lot of myself for a while. I think I had a boyfriend that was like really hard on me. And those you need
that
those
sounds familiar.
You need those.
I'm rolling my eyes already.
This is familiar.
He was really hard on me, and you know, he was like, I feel like you're always a show. I feel like you're always performing, and I don't feel like I know what you would do.
You don't need
or
those
who
people
you
in
would
your
be
life
if you weren't a singer. And it's true though. I didn't have like a personality. I was just Vicky the singer. I had been Vicky the singer for so long that I'm like, what is about me that's different or unique, or and most people go their whole lives without figuring that out, and artists are like expected to put it in a box and being like, hope you like it.
Yeah, it takes time. So what has been kind of the best advice you have been given?
It's hard because you don't want to take good advice. But the best advice that people have given me is, again, like, to be patient. Because it's just timing, and sometimes it's just not your timing. And I've been patiently waiting for my time, and now at 30, when I thought I was going to be giving up and having kids, is now when my career is really starting. So patience and trusting in the plan that is bigger than you. That's hard. That's easier said than done, though.
Yeah.
And then the biggest advice that I think I could give, and that nobody gave me, just because is to be as independent as you possibly can. And I think when people are like, want to stay attached to you or stay in control of you in some way, they don't give you that advice because they want you dependent on them. Right?
Yeah, so they can stay around.
So you need them in some way, and they either shelter you from information, especially like growing up and like coming up in the industry. And I didn't really know much. Of course, I'm learning from people with more experience than me. And they're like, oh no, we'll handle that for you. Don't worry about that. We'll handle that for you. And in essence, I know that they were trying to help me by not like bogging my brain with too many things, but you end up having to learn them all the hard way in the long run. So the more independent that you can be, the more knowledgeable that you can be, the more like you can do on your own without having to pay or help anybody. Because that's the other thing. Creating art is expensive. So every time I have to make a cover artwork, I have to pay for somebody. Every time I want to make a flyer or like a video, a lyric video, it all adds up. So more independent you could be, the better. And not everybody's going to tell you that. But like, do it by yourself. If you don't have the money to like pay for somebody to shoot your music video, put a camera there,
figure it out
and make your own, like figure it out. Perfect. So I think that's what I would say.
And now that you mentioned your career, everything is popping off right now for you. How are you kind of balancing that career life and your personal life?
Oh, I'm still figuring it out. It's hard. It's a day-to-day process. I think you make time for the things you want to make time for. Don't let any guy tell you that he's too busy.
Love that.
That's a good one.
That is a really good one.
Quote that.
You make time for sure. So I have a boyfriend now. I'm in a committed relationship. I'm super happy in a healthy relationship. Oh my God.
That's what we like to hear.
That's how it should be.
It should be. Feels weird. But I think I consciously make time to make sure that we have like lunch together. Like he has like a weird schedule like mine. If he had like a 9 to 5, it probably wouldn't be conducive to what I do because my schedule is a little bit crazy. So weekends, I'm performing, I'm gigging, I'm doing events. And if he was working 9 to 5 and only had weekends available, it'd be really hard for us. So we make time like in the middle of the day. Like we always have like lunch together, and then I go to the studio or he goes about his errands and things to do. So I think my Google Calendar is really my best friend. I like plan, like if you want,
it's planned to the T.
It's really scary when you look at it. Like,
oh wow.
It's really
scary.
Color
coordinate and everything.
Yeah, I color coordinate the travel. Like I'm traveling a lot. You see the red? That's me.
That gives me anxiety.
Out of town. That's me unavailable.
You're basically not here ever.
Listen, sometimes I try to send her an invite for a calendar. She doesn't even accept it.
Yeah, I'm really bad at calendars.
She's the worst.
And with texting.
With everything.
Don't text me.
I'm really bad with WhatsApp. But like if you want to get a hold of me, don't WhatsApp me.
Yeah. I don't even have it on my phone. Everybody's like, yeah, WhatsApp. No. I can't handle like
that?
double like messages.
No,
it's too much.
I can't do anything with words.
100%.
So and then I think also when we're like really ambitious, we want to say yes to everything. We want to be at every event, and sometimes you
we're
really
like,
don't
make it, and
you
you
really don't have to be at every
commit.
event. You really don't have to be
That's
at
how you
every
burn
event.
yourself out.
Yeah.
Overcommitting. And then realizing, oh my God, I can't be at 2 places at the same time.
Yeah.
Now what?
And outfits. God, it's so hard.
I'm so glad you're bringing that up.
You don't have a stylist?
I do have a stylist, but I don't have her on salary. So
so it's only for special occasions.
It's for special occasions whenever I have the budget enough to like pay her. But most of the time, my manager is really, you know, just helping me kind of like they're in a group chat and I'm sending them a million outfit options and trying to figure it out the best we can. Because every time we show up somewhere, we have to look like $1 million. And that's just
you never repeat an outfit.
Women
and you can't repeat it because the pictures, the videos, everything.
My agent's calling me.
Oh. What has been your most memorable collab?
Oh, my collab with Pitbull.
How was that? Tell me how that went.
Well, I've got 2 collabs with Pitbull now. And I think it was just really surreal when you get an email from him or from anybody being like, hey, Pitt requested that you write a verse on this. It's just like, it feels very surreal. And then when the last one came out, we were actually getting excited to release another record. And then a month before New Year's, they were like, it's not going to happen. Like, I'm sorry. They're going to go with another record. And I was like dealing with that heartbreak because I hadn't told anybody. I was like, Mal de Ojo's real. I'm not going to tell anybody.
That's the way. I don't tell anything until it comes through.
Yeah. And then it still didn't come through. And I was really disappointed. And then 3 days before New Year's, they're like, oh, hey, by the way, we're releasing another record. One of the other ones that you did with him. And so I don't even know when things are happening sometimes. So it settles in as it's happening. But I think that would probably be my most memorable collaboration today because it was just something that I've like literally manifested since I was like a little kid wanting to do a song with Mr. 305 and now I have a few. So that's
amazing.
That is amazing.
I feel like he's the perfect person to collab, especially your branding. You're all Miami and Miss 305 basically, and he's like the king of that. So it's special. Yeah. It's so special.
For sure.
So where can listeners go to download your music?
Okay, well, I'm available.
See you live.
See you live. What do you have coming up that you want people to go see?
I'm going to be performing at South by Southwest. I'm going to be performing at the end of the month. Well, not at Ultra because I'm not going to be in town for Ultra, sadly enough. I have a bachelorette trip. But I've got a bunch of performances kind of like lining up for the summer. A lot of things under works, but I'm available on all social media platforms, all streaming platforms. Vikina, Vikina. Easy to spell, easy to pronounce in any language. Yeah, I picked it because I'm like, oh, in China, how do you say Vikina? Vikina. And how do you say it in Russia? It's just the same. Although still people mess it up. They're like Vikina or Vikana. Somebody called me Vikana.
Oh, that's a good one, Vikana.
They're like, oh my God,
who's
are you Vikana? And I'm like, yes, that's who I am.
I'm Vikina too.
So find me on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Please subscribe. Like those are like the more important things to do. Save them, share them when you see them. Don't just like keep scrolling. You want to engage. Give me the full view. Show a girl love.
Yes, we love that engagement.
Yeah, most platforms I'm Vikina Music. Okay. But you should be able to just Google Vikina and it pops up.
Goes out. Perfect.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for joining us.
A great hour, basically.
Right? And just learning like from your insights as an artist, as an actress, how things work. I feel like I personally haven't met one. So like this is just great because we learned a lot. And I hope the audience learned a lot too, our listener.
It's very valuable to listen to what people in your industry have to say because not everyone gets to experience that.
Especially you had chances that you were able to get done here in Miami. You didn't have to leave to LA. Yeah. You didn't have to go.
If I had $1 for every time somebody was like, Vikina, nothing's going to happen to your career until you move to LA, I'd be able to pay for all of their rent in Miami.
Because that's the honest truth. Like it happened to me.
I'd be able to pay for a lot of people's rent in Miami because people always said, you got to move and nothing's going to happen in Miami. And I was patient and I knew that Miami would have its moment. And now we're here and we're at the forefront of it. And I'm about it.
I just had like major deja vu.
That's a good sign.
That is a good sign. I'm like just major deja vu.
That's a good sign. It's only up from here for all of us. Manifesting it. We're so lucky.
Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today and listening to Confess It, baby. Don't forget to follow, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, leave us some reviews, and
follow us on TikTok too.
Follow us on TikTok.
Don't forget us there.
Instagram. Show us some love. It's at Confess It Baby Podcast, and we shall see you next hump day.